So I grew up in the oldest mill town in the United States. I grew up as that working poor people who were completely invisible in the world. I grew up on food banks and food stamps. I have been evicted more times than I can count. I have slept in cars. And there were two women in this world who got me to where I am standing here today with you. And it is so important to me that you hear that none of where I am today is because of me. The first is my mother, who is the fiercest woman I have ever met in my life. How she did what she did for my sisters and I, and how we lived, and how I am standing here today. My life is about paying her back. When I was 10 years old, just before we were going to be evicted from another house, my mother threw a little birthday party for me. And the neighbor donated this tiny little ice cream cake. And my mother somehow got these napkins that said, among all my 5th grade friends, may I remind you, in the oldest mill town in the country, that said, a woman's place is in the House, ... and the Senate. I was very popular. Can you imagine that now? And when I was 11 years old, I wrote postcards to Ronald Reagan out of a homeless shelter to hold on to not overturn Roe v. Wade. And so I am here today because of my mother, and the second woman who completely changed how I move through this world and how I walk every day, and how I believe that I am so fierce and bold and unapologetic, and I will never apologize for the amount of space I take in the world every day, is Gloria Steinem. So guess what I'm talking to you all about? Oh my God, I'm talking to you about money. You don't grow up as poor as I did and shy away from talking about money.
That's right.
Here's the gift of the working poor in this globe. We will bloody talk about money. There's nothing polite about it. It's just a resource. And here's what I want you to know. You want to come into your voice? Carol Gilligan, who's taught me more about coming into my voice, 13 years old, read her book, went, that's what's up. You better let go of your wallet. Because I'm telling you now that I work with some of the most influential women philanthropists throughout the globe. And they don't have the level of empowerment in their whole person that I have in right here. Because the very thing that was set to liberate us by having money has started to strangle women. Because we are holding on to it. But I'm not going to be okay, but you don't understand, but Kathy, you don't get. I don't get? You just told me I don't get that? The best day in my life is the day I wrote a $10,000 check. I wrote a $10,000 check when I was 29 years old. I didn't have mortgage. I didn't have a mortgage for January. Wrote it in December. Do you know everybody told me not to write it? Everybody told me not to write it. Do you know what it did to write it? I have only just begun to do what I'm fully capable of doing. I promise you, if you hold on to your money, you will not find your voice. That may be, we can sit in rooms, talk about women being raped, talk about child sex trafficking, talk about incest, the hardest, most difficult things in the world. You talk about money, we all pull back in. We all bargain, we all rationalize, we all justify. It is a tool that you own. It does not own you.